Hello all and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to build an multi-agent framework with the help of Azure Agent Foundry service. So in the previous two videos in this particular playlist, we have already covered the basics of agentic AI with the help of Azure Agent Foundry service. So if you have missed that, please go ahead and check out that. The link is available in the description below. So today we are completely going to focus on how exactly we can leverage the Azure Agent Foundry service in order to build the multi-agent framework. So previously we have seen how exactly we can build a single agent, and that was pretty straightforward. Now it's time to build complex projects with the help of multi-agent framework. So we'll be building a very interesting topic. As you can see on my screen, we'll be building an stock market trading and analysis. So we will be building a multi-agent framework which is going to help us take a informed decision whether to buy a stock or not, and if we need to buy that, what are the different things that we need to take care, or what are the things that we need to, or what is the value at which we need to buy that particular stock, what should be our stop loss, when exactly we should exit from the market. All those analyses our generative AI models are going to give us. So basically we'll be building and different agents to take different informed decision. So yeah, without wasting time, let's straight jump into that. So how exactly we are going to do this stock analysis? So let's say we have an investor. So let's understand how the traditional way of doing the research for stock analysis works. So investor does the financial study. They understand the finance related to any particular stock. They invest a lot of time in understanding the pattern, data pattern, the market analysis they do. They do the news analysis. Basically, they look at the different things that are happening around that particular stock in the market. Also, they do the situational analysis. Then they also do the market study. They understand all the parameters, the global as well as the national level parameters that are affecting the stock market. And based on all those study, what exactly they do, based on their research, they evaluate the different stock. They identify the stocks where they need to actually invest, and they do all their predictions, they do all their analysis, all their patterns, everything they analyze. And in order to do that, they invest a lot of time in doing those research, coming up with good coming up with a stock which they need to pick up in the market and all those things, right? And then they make a informed decision based on the metadata that they have collected. Based on that, they take an informed decision whether to buy a particular stock or not, right? So those decisions that the investor take, and once they take an informed decision, definitely obviously there is going to be always confusion whether to buy or sell, but accordingly they take a decision based on the data, and then accordingly they invest, and that's how they earn money, right? So if you are doing the research thoroughly, if you are good in doing the research, if you are good in understanding the data pattern, definitely you are going to earn money in stock market, right? So that's the traditional way. Now, as we are dealing with the agentic AI era, so let's see how exactly we can use our generative AI capability in order to solve the same use case with the help of multi-agent framework. So let's see how exactly smartly we can do that. So for multi-agent framework, let's say as an investor, we are going to pick one stock. Let's take an example of Hindustan Aeronautic Limited, HAL. For that particular stock, first of all, we will have a trend agent. As we are building a multi-agent framework, the first thing is going to be the trend agent. Now, the task of trend agent is to understand the data pattern, understand the latest market details. Let's say what was the last closing price for the HAL in the market, uh, like all those details, right? The average percentage increase that happened over last, let's say, week, month, or last day, right? Those analysis our trend agent is going to do. Along with that, other all parameters that are required in order to take an informed decision, this trend agent is going to do that. It is going to check your support, resistance, all those calculations our trend agent is going to do. The next one we have is the news agent, because external factor always affect our stock market. So let's say it is very much important to check what are the news that are going around HAL, that is Hindustan Aeronautic Limited, in order to buy that particular stock, right? Or in order to take a decision whether to buy or not. So we have a second agent called news agent, which is going to capture the live news that are happening in the market. Based on that, it is going to take a decision. And then third, we will have a third agent called decision agent, which is going to take input from trend agent and news agent. And then based on that, it is going to do some KPI evaluation, and accordingly, it is going to take a decision whether to buy that particular stock or not. Now, there is always one thing, like for the trend agent and news agent, how exactly they know which data to access and what is the right source of data, right? And in order to get that, we need to build a custom tooling, because agentic framework, if you want to perform any customized action, then always you need an tooling. So these tools are going to help us connect to the external data sources that we have. So what exactly those tools? So first we will be building a fetch stock data. So this tool is going to connect to a actual data source or actual market data that is happening, the stock data. Then second one, we have a fetch latest news, which is going to search over the internet and help us identify the latest things that are going around these particular stocks that we are interested in. And then with the help of capability of registering the tool, so we'll be registering fetch stock data tool to the trend agent, and then we'll be registering the fetch latest news tool to the news agent. That way our trend agent and news agent are now smarter enough that they are real time talking to the external data sources, the live data, and accordingly they are going to take the informed decision, right? So it's not like that these agents are going to take decision only on the past data. No, also they are going to take into consideration the external environment parameters that are affecting your stock, and then those detail they are going to pass to the decision agent, and then decision agent is going to take the final decision, right? So this complete thing is nothing but our multi-agent framework, and that is what we are going to build on the Azure Agent Foundry service. So let's understand now what is the thing that we are going to build. So as an investor, we are going to pick a one stock. Let's say we are picking HAL, that is our national stock exchange, the Hindustan Aeronautic Limited. And then this is the multi-agent framework that we have already discussed. Let's assume this as a multi-agent framework. And for this particular multi-agent framework, whenever we are going to feed the data, it is going to tell us the statistics of that particular HAL, that is our stock. It can be anything. HAL is just an example. And then based on that statistic, it is going to tell us first whether to buy or sell the stock. What should be the entry price? Let's say if we are saying buy, if the model is saying buy, then what should be the entry price? That also it is going to detect. Then it is also going to tell us the target price, at what is the expected target price that this particular stock is going to hit. So that also it is going to give. Also it is going to give you the stop loss in order to save your losses, right? It is going to give you the stop loss, and also at the end it is going to give you the risk factor. So it is going to say that, okay, based on my analysis, these are the things that I have given to you, but this is the risk associated with that, right? So it is going to give that risk, whether it is a low risk, medium risk, high risk, right? Those information it is going to give. So this is how we are going to build this multi-agent framework, and the Azure Agent Foundry service is going to help us build this particular framework very quickly. So without wasting time, let's straight jump into the coding part. Okay, so I have opened my Visual Studio Code. So let's go ahead and start writing the code. First of all, let's go ahead and create the virtual environment quickly. So Python -m venv, this is going to be the virtual environment. So this is a quick command to create the virtual environment. So if you are new to that, you can see it has started creating the virtual environment, and we need to activate this particular file. We need to execute this file in order to activate that. So let's do that. Venv scripts activate. Okay, so we have activated the environment. Let's quickly go ahead and create the requirements.txt. And let me go ahead and add the requirements quickly. So these are the requirements. So these two libraries we are going to use in order to connect to the Azure account, basically the Agent Foundry service, and this Azure identity is in order to import the, or in order to build and manage the agent. Python.env in order to load the secrets. YFinance is in order to hit to the stock analysis data. So YFinance library captures the latest data that is available on the latest data for our stock. DuckDuckGo search we are going to use in order to hit to the internet and search the news related to that particular stock. So DuckDuckGo search is a search engine just like Google, which is more secure, and it provides very easy feasibility to connect with Python. That's where we are going to use that, and the normal dependencies like pandas and numpy. So let me go ahead and quickly install these dependencies. Okay, meanwhile the dependencies are getting installed. Let's go ahead and start writing the code. So let me write the app.py file and let's get started. So as you can see, requirements have been installed successfully. So let's go ahead and import the necessary dependencies that are required. So as I mentioned, we'll be using YFinance and DuckDuckGo search. So those two things we have imported. And also we need to connect to the Azure account. So we'll be requiring the Azure identity. We'll be using default Azure credential class in order to build the connection, or basically build the client connection, and Azure client in order to manage and create the agent. And these are the supporting that are required while creating the agent. So I'll show you that quickly. So let's start writing the main function. So for the main functions, first we are going to clear the console, and then we'll be loading the environment. So currently we are going to pass, so we'll be reading the environments from the .env. So let's go ahead and quickly create the .env file. So we need these two details. We will need a project endpoint and model deployment name. So let's go ahead and quickly deploy the model on Agent Foundry service. So let me go ahead and do that. So currently we don't have any Agent Foundry service. So let me quickly show you how exactly you can create the Agent Foundry service. So go to portal.azure.com and log into the Azure portal, and then make sure to have a active subscription. So currently I have this active subscription. So let's go ahead and search the Azure AI Foundry. So this is the one that we are going to use, this service. Let's click on that. Let's click on create resource. Let's go ahead and quickly create that. So resource group, obviously Azure always asks to create a resource group or add a resource group for any service that we are creating, in order to group the similar, or in order to group your project related services into one single group. So I don't have any. Let's go ahead and create that, and let's give the name as RG multi-agent. Select OK. Let's give the project name as, let's say, AGF multi-agent. Sorry, let's give the service name as AGF multi-agent, and let's give the project name as stock analysis. Hit next. Keep open to all networks. System assigned. Encryption you can ignore. Tags you can ignore, and let it validate. Whatever name we have given, it is going to quickly validate that whether all the names and details that we have filled are correct or not. So validation failed. Let's go ahead and check that quickly. Okay, so the subdomain name is not available. So this AGF multi-agent is not available. So let me add, let's say 01. Let's select next, 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 and let it validate. Make sure to select the unique name. Okay, you can see validation are completed. Let's go ahead and create that. So it will take 2 to 3 minutes to create this particular service. So let's wait for the service creation. Okay, you can see the service has been created. So let's go ahead and jump to that particular service. Let's click on go to resource. And then from here, we can go to the Azure AI Foundry portal. So let's log into the Azure AI Foundry portal. And to the left side, you can see these are the overview details that are available. So we will be using this particular endpoint, project endpoint. You can see Azure AI Foundry endpoint. And then this is the agent service that is of our interest. So we'll be using this particular agent service. So we are going to connect to this particular service through a agent SDK, through a Foundry SDK, and that will help us create and manage the agent. So the moment we click on that, it will ask us to select the large language model. So let's go ahead and select the GPT-4 model. So this GPT-4 model, that is what we are going to select. Let's click on confirm. And here click on customize, and let's adjust the model quota. So 25k is the maximum that is available, so I'll go ahead with that. But I think 4 or 5k token per minute rate is also more than enough for us. So let's go ahead and deploy that. So for this deployment, it will hardly take 2 to 3 seconds. You can see the deployment has been successful, and default it creates one agent. So let's ignore that agent, and let's click on overview, and let's copy this particular Azure AI Foundry project endpoint, and we need to add that. So in the project endpoint, let's go ahead and add those. And the model that we are using is GPT-4o. So this is the model that we are using. So let's save this. So we are done with the model config or environment setup. Now let's build the connection. So in order to build the connection, we'll be, as I mentioned, we'll be using this default Azure credential class. And with the help of that, you can see we have passed the project endpoint, and then it is going to build the connection. So it has created agent client. So the client connection has been created or has been defined here. And then now let's go ahead and start writing the agent. So in order to start the agent, so these are we start the agent with agent client, this agent client that we have created. And let's start defining the agents one by one. So the first agent that we are going to define is the trend agent, as we discussed in the architecture. So this is going to be our first agent. So first one is the trend agent. And for this particular trend agent, you can see we have given model deployment, that is the GPT-4 model. Name we have given as trend agent. Let me close this. Then in the instructions, you can see you are a stock trend analyst. Use fetch stock data function to retrieve the last N daily closing prices. You can see we have given use this particular tool, but currently we have not defined that tool. So first of all, let's go ahead and define those tools, and these other information identify when trend is going up, when market is down or sideways market, current flow, all those details is going to identify, and recent change percentage and all those details, right? So in order to register that tool, we need to add the tool set. So for adding the tool set, we need to define the tool set first. So let's go ahead and define the tool set. So currently the tool set is not there. So before adding this particular tool set, we need to define these functions, right? So let's go ahead and write those functions. So in order to test that functions, let's create one file, test.ipynb. So where I'll show you how exactly it is going to fetch the latest data from YFinance. So here, let me just import some dependencies, and let me select the Python environment. So we'll be using this particular VNV that we have created. It may ask you to install the kernel. So if it is asking, please go ahead and install it. You can see it is asking me to install the IPY kernel. So I'm going to go ahead and install that. So meanwhile, let me show you the code, the custom function that we have written in order to fetch the stock. So this is the function that is given. So you can see it is going to use the YFinance library, and with YF.ticker, it is going to, we need to pass this ticker, and for that sticker, it is going to get the history information, and also we need to pass the period. So for last 1 month, it is going to extract that data, and interval, it is going to select 1 day, and the ticker, default ticker we have passed as HAL, right? And also import the pandas. So those I forgot to import. Okay, so now our function is ready. So for fetch stock data, let's go ahead and test that how exactly it is going to work. So currently we have given all the default parameter HAL for last 1 month, and see whether it is going to fetch the data or not. So let's go ahead and run this again. Yeah, fetch stock data. So let's see how exactly it is going to return that. So you can see it has extracted the data for HAL, and you can see it has extracted for today's date, that is 21st. Sorry, it has extracted data for today, that is 21st August, and also you can see it has extracted till last 1 month. So we have total these many records. So for these many days the market were open. It has excluded the weekends, because on weekends obviously the market remains closed. So it has given all those details like date, when the stock was open on this particular date, and when exactly it was closed, and what was the volume, dividend, stock split, everything. That information we have, and this information our trend agent is going to use to do the market analysis or trend analysis, right? Similarly, let me show you the DuckDuckGo search tool. So this is our second tool, fetch latest news. So you can see here we are going to pass any query. Let's say for Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, we are passing this particular stock, and for that particular stock, it is going to fetch the top 5 news. And this is the class that is available, DDGS, in DuckDuckGo search. And into that, it is going to extract these details: the title, source of that particular news, date, URL, and snippet, right? So let's go ahead and quickly execute this and see how exactly it is going to extract the data. Okay, so you can see it is going to extract the data in this particular format, and again you can see the date, it is picking today's date. So today these are the things that are happened. These are the latest news related to these HAL. So you can see dividend stock HL Coal India, RVNL, Jindal Stainless, others to trade X date soon, last day to buy. All those detail it is given, and then it has given snippet. This particular information it has given. Similarly, you can see HAL share price gains over 3% after center clears rupees 62,000 crore deal to buy 97 Tejas MK1A. So all those today's or yesterday's latest news that it has picked up, you can see 20th August and 21st August, because market is going to depend on these news as well. So it has picked that. Now we have the both the tools working or functions working. So let's register these functions to our agent. So the thing that we have discussed here, you can see fetch stock data tool that we have, custom tool that we have written. That is our custom code. Fetch latest data again is going to our custom code, and we are going to register those to our these two different agents like trend agent and news agent. The task of these custom tool is that they help us to perform our customization task. Right now, you can write any function and you can register that function to your agent, and agent is going to make sure that execute that function and grab the data and perform the analysis on top of that. Okay, so as we have tested both the functions are working, let's go into the app.py and let's add these two functions. So these are the two functions that we have. You can see first one is the fetch stock data, same function we have added here, and second one is the fetch latest news. Those two functions we have added, right? Now let's go ahead and register the tool. So in order to register the tool, we need to define the user function first. These functions we are passing in this particular format where we need to give comma separated tools. So as you can see, we have two custom functions that we have given as user functions. And then for registration, we need to define these tools in this particular format. So you can see in the functions, we'll be using function tool class that is available under this Azure AI agent.models, these function tools. And then we are going to pass these user functions that we have created, these two functions, and then it is going to create a tool set, and that tool set it is going to add, right? So that way we have registered these two functions to the tool set, and then you can see we have enabled auto function calls. So it is not going to ask for manual input. The agents are not going to ask for manual input while calling the tool sets or functions. It is going to automatically call as and when required. And those tool sets now we need to pass here. So first we have defined our custom function. Then we have registered those functions with the help of user function or function tool to these functions. Those then we have registered to the tool set, and that tool set we have passed at the agent level. So this is our first agent. Let's go ahead and define the second agent as well. So we have this as a second agent called news agent. And again, you can see the name we have given as news agent. And the task is you are a market news analyst, summarize the latest financial data. And this is again going to use the tool that we have given, right? And by calling that particular tool, it is going to get the latest data. And based on that, it is going to predict the sentiment, whether the stock is going to be positive side, whether there will be a positive growth in the stock, negative, or it's going to be the neutral, that it is going to define. Now it's time to define the third agent, that is decision agent. So I have already given several prompts for our decision agent to take action. So you can see this is our third agent, that is decision agent, and we have already given instructions that okay, provide final recommendation whether to buy, sell, or hold. And if buy, suggest price, stop loss. If sell, suggest selling price, stop loss. And at the final, it is going to give these details. First, it is going to give the recommendation, then entry price, target price, stop loss, risk probability, reasoning, and if you want, you can add a few more details as and when required, right? So this is just the basic format that we have given. So with this, our three agents are ready. You can see how we are leveraging the multi-agent framework. We have these three agents defined. Now let's go ahead and call these agents now. So first of all, let's go ahead and define the thread. As if you are not aware, thread is a feature that is available on Agent Foundry service, which captures the conversation. I will show you that conversation on the Agent Foundry once we create these agents actually. So this is going to manage all the conversation. Now let me go ahead and add the code to start the loop. So you can see we are starting a while loop. First of all, we are requesting user to enter a ticker. So basically the ticker value of our stock, let's say for Hindustan Aeronautic, the ticker value is HAL. That is what we are going to add. And then you can see first we are creating a thread. So basically You can see we have passed thread ID, role we have given user, and content it needs to analyze the ticker price trend that we have given to the agent client, and then we are going to go ahead and create that particular agent and the thread. So you can see with the help of trend agent ID and the thread ID, it is going to create that agent on the Agent Foundry service. And then you can see we have a agent client.message.get last message text by role. This is in order to extract the last message from that particular agent, because last message is of key important, because whatever conversation that agent is going to happen, right, that is not important for us. What is important for us is the final response. So the last message is nothing but the final response. Similarly, we have defined the news agent. We have given all these details for news agent. You can see content is summarized the recent news for ticker. And then third, we have defined the decision agent. Again, similarly, we are creating the agent, creating the thread, and then we are fetching the last message for that. And here, the final conversation history that we are going to return. So this particular code is just to get the final conversation history. And you can see at the end, once we are done with the analysis, to save the cost, we have added these code in order to delete the agent. So you can see first we are deleting trend agent, the news agent, and decision agent, so that we are not wasting the tokens on, we are not we are basically saving the cost. Okay, so let's go ahead and test this. So quickly let me go ahead and write the main function in order to test this. So we are super ready now, and I think we are good to test. Let me see if there are any errors in the code. Yeah, it looks pretty cool now. We have already defined the project endpoints. Please do not reveal your secrets. I'm going to delete this particular resource before uploading this particular video. So make sure you are not exposing your secrets. So let's go ahead and run this particular file. Let me open the terminal. So to run that, let's type python app.py and let's hit. Hopefully it should work. Uh, PD is not defined. Okay, my bad. Pandas was not defined, sorry. Let's go ahead and rerun the code python app.py. It should work. You can see it has cleared this console, and it should create the agents now. Okay, you can see agents ready, trend agent, news agent, and decision agent. It has quickly created those agents. So with the help of Foundry Agent SDK, now we have connected to the Agent Foundry service, and also we have created 3 agents. Let me go ahead and show you those agents quickly. So let's go to the agent section, and on agent section, you should see 3 more agents now. You can ignore the first one, the default one. You can see it has created decision agent, news agent, and trend agent. Let me show you one by one. So for the trend agent, you can see it has added the custom instructions that we have added. And then you can see we have registered these 2 tools. Now currently we have registered those 2 tools to both the agents, but you can individually register the tools. But our agents are smart enough that our news agent is going to only call the fetch latest news, and stock agent, the trend agent, is going to only call the fetch stock data. But if your model is getting confused, then make sure we can define, then we can easily distinguish these tools. So you will find those sets of tools again for news agent as well, you can see, and the instructions that we have given. And for the decision agent, you can see we don't have any tool given, because it is going to use the knowledge generated by these 2 agents, and that is what it is going to use to take an informed decision. And in the threads, you can see it has created one default thread. So currently you can see we don't have anything. So let's ignore that. I'll show you once we start the conversation. So let's go ahead and enter the ticker value. So for the ticker value for HAL, the Hindustan Aeronautic is HAL.ENS for National Stock Exchange. Let's go ahead and enter that. Let's see. It should start the conversation among the agents now. It should call trend agent first, then news analysis agent, and then the decision agent. So let's wait for the response. Okay, you can see it has started generating the response. Let me show you that. So first you can see trend agent, it has extracted these details and it has given recent percentage change is minus 8.637. Current price it has given. And later on you can see it has called the news agent. So for news agent, again, it is, you can see it has generated these news summary. HAL has recently won a key bid to privatization, small satellite rocket launches, and all those detail it has given. So it has extracted the sentiment for this particular stock is positive. And then you can see recommendation, it is saying to hold. Enterprise, it is not disclosing. That's where, because the recommendation is hold. It is saying not to buy and not to sell as well. So that is what the recommendation it has given, and you can see it has given the reasoning. HL non-stock has seen a notable decline in its price over the last month, dropping by approximately 8.67. The technical trend indicates all those detail it has given, and that's where the informed decision is hold. So let's try it out for the some another stock. Let's add for Infosys. So the ticker value for Infosys is InfiNS. So let's see what exactly it is going to give for Infosys now. Again, it has started generating the decisions for Infosys trend agent. You can see, then these are the results for that. Then you can see, okay, for Infosys also it is saying hold. So let's add the stock that is very booming into the market. Let's try it out for another ticker value. Let's try it for Cipla. So the ticker value for Cipla is Cipla.tns. Let's see. So you can see it has started generating now trend agent. You can see recent change percentage is positive. I think you should suggest the buy recommendation now. Let's see, you can see sentiment is positive. Cipla has recently announced strong Q4 result with 30% year-on-year profit increase. So yeah, looks like it is going very good. So let's see what is the recommendation for Cipla. Cool. You can see the recommendation for Cipla is buy. It is saying entry price should be 1585 rupees and target price it is going to get hit to the 1650 and stop loss should be 1535. The risk probability is medium. So you can see how exactly or how beautifully it has done the market analysis, it has done the stock trend analysis, and then it is suggesting. If it is not sure, then definitely it is giving us to hold on, not to buy or not to sell. But yeah, you can add lot of your custom rules, you can add lot of your custom strategies to it. You can see the trend analysis agent that we have created or the news analysis agent that we have created. If you think you want, you can add few more agents. Go ahead and definitely add those agents in order to improve the accuracy. But yeah, do not use this particular code in order to predict your stock market. I would highly recommend, because again, the generative AI models are volatile. Don't use and don't invest into your market by referring to these particular recommendations generated by this. Always take advice from your financial advisor before investing. So I'll repeat again, please do not use this particular project in order to invest into your stock market. So yeah, so I hope this was helpful for you. I hope you gain a thorough understanding how exactly the multi-agent framework work on Azure Agent Foundry service, how exactly you can build a custom applications in order to solve your custom task, how the agents are taking the custom actions and generating the recommendations or generating the results for you. I hope this was helpful for you. Please go ahead and like the video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and share it with your friends. And also, if you are interested in learning more about the Agent Foundry service, how you can build the agentic AI with the help of Agent Foundry service, then I have already prepared a whole course on Udemy. The link is available in the description below. Please go ahead and check out that. So yeah, thank you so much, and I'll see you soon in the next interesting video. Thank you.